All right, so yesterday the updates we right here on this particular platform about how President John Dramani Mahama in his address at the Ghana Armed Forces military parade at Accra, so Accra, he said that he wants to retool and make Ghana's military the best here in West Africa because of the fact say countries they are arming themselves, and also there's growing insecurity in this particular sub-region. And one of the things he did mention among Omini Ajeho the fact said he's going to really take serious effects, and he's going to look into the issue of immigration. Because immigration one more movie a man who does some mobile in now on the circle and then in BNB. Okwa says Niger for a year Mali for your moon and I'm quite almost and even Nigeria for being more we saw at the end of the day they do a whole lot of shady things, prostitution, criminal offense, armed robbery, any other. So Mahama promised on that front. But the nation itself at large, people are fed up because news about patch say just as all of these kidnapping and also issue of Nigeria for mobile chrome has say armed robbery any and Nigerian woman she has been nabbed circle na money and say what trafficking in Crawford abakrum has say and a young girl no dia or dina backroom has say on no dey also dey be business on share business or didn't babe ya ontimi enka. Mind you, video question you will see that this woman at the point in time citizens for nankasa and as it move for nakasa and a touch so saying say akoso omo the young girls way back with the hope say ye babe mom employment ye babe mom baby papa amomujina at the end of the day as young as 15-16 years near the omakoshe ashawo and a prostitution and at the end of the day nipa na say bi waba krom ha say yanka oba be ye adwuma ana oba be sumo bi and at the end of the day Moses say nipa na say bi wadane ashawo I just say akohwebra and obo. Into this particular video question you see say a group of people Ghanaians are on one circle because mu chemu ya cars na fi Nigeria eba ebe offload omugu circle but see an omontena say enye hwe. So you see the young girl like the young girl now can say you see her and at the end of the day woman now or traffic is a young girl eba chrome her boni odino or no so nyeche no yenkuhwe video eba back for yebeto aso.
Pass here. What is happening? Because you show me this thing. Because I know there is a uniform. When I dey inside uniform, I know. Hey, what call for TikTok? I'm gonna let you come for TikTok. Pass here. What do I look for now? You want us to take about
okay. Into video now sharing it may be a bit shorter, but then we'll explain it further for you to see. So video now was shared on. You will see at the point in time, I think the Ghana police need to grab a PM more. So girl now or share red no young girl now ya trafficking no. Okay. Girl now or share red or no and a young girl now ya trafficking no. And at the end of the day, the other person ujina hono. A year lady now as a wig and I say or she wig this particular lady or she black or no so your friend is saying at the end of the day no so na nipa na say be or this a woman and as a young girl we ever into your can in literal terms na your partner say sa lady we no on your trafficker and or this our victim now perhaps on the onim she onim the equal so chrome hano on no victim so into the osha red near victim and a woman osha black and the trafficker. Now there's a second bite to this particular video because this bite also explains further at the point in time people actually apprehended the woman into a coca and at the end of the day okay send what should we do to her? Should we nab her? Should we deal with her? And I'm saying, I was saying, I didn't go police station. So, the second part of this particular video when this woman was trying to explain, say, on the business woman, the Chrome has say, what's now Chrome has say for the past 6 years. So, Opori Obebuana, and you call Nigeria, echo fast, I lady we edit buy. But then, according to one or more circle, who should lady now or did not ban the Osha red notion of who found Macrana? You will see that she herself, she's not happy. She did not consent to this. She did not consent to this. Every video it's here for Babaka, we will get into more details in regards to this particular update. Eba.
Do you pass through the right immigration process to bring her in?
Yes.
Are you sure? So which documents can you show that she's having the right and everything to enter Ghana?
You have the right.
And you yourself, do you have the right document?
Documents.
Documents that show that she should come to Ghana.
Oh, I don't know how to pay off.
Okay, open the document please. Hello, your name? What is your name? From where?
Your name is Station. Go one side.
Do you pass through the right immigration process to bring her in?
Yes.
Are you sure? So which documents can you show that?
Okay, so Utsi in some na Brighton Bisana, or say, did you pass through the right documents to bring her? Because lady also a businesswoman, and according to her, no, what's not Ghana for the past 6 years. Remember, sir, and I mind you, said there's nothing wrong if you bring someone into the country legally. But once, nipa na ba kroni one funny true, the person have not passed through any immigration system. No about remu sane de, and no sane de a criminal offense. Into a bisan is okay. Lady now na bandits. Did you actually pass through the right legal document and as the right procedure to bring her in? Where is a passport? Where is a friend is her immigration status? Where is her friend is a krata? It says she has every right to live and has be granted a permanent residency here in this country. Mind you, this lady could not provide all of these aforementioned. And almost said the idea. Yeah, the lady no any victim, you know, yeah, the omunako police station. Yeah, the omoko police station ultimately no the ebe koso ho no na akọ. Mind you said all these things are ekoso no etakoso. And no enam so ama Nigeria for se bi o ma be doors wo krom ha pa. Udwe ho a wonti ase. And this is something at the end of the day no. Very, very, very bad. Ya can't send be our platform we so. But Kamia said now no dear Ghana for a party say yent na ho Emma said be bia and Nigeria for him be good chrome uba yankasa we send Akufo do kind. We will be what? We will not be citizens just alone. We will not be spectators, we'll be citizens. In the baby south say o card I trust over chrome say we him. That is the question we are going to ask you. Once you are not able to provide that card, then it means a chrome has saying one illegally. It's a betcho. You betcho. Because to me, Baha say, so that is exactly what is really going on. If you are joining us, we are live. More share, you know, is another part of this particular video. Part need can share. Babaka. Menuka say no drug any cocaine who sends no Ghana buying and also Mahama's administration. They are talking. Remember, so last week, last 2 weeks, I'm update say, ya chin Nigeria for miensa ewo Ghana's border. Baku was bringing cocaine anyway, and Baku the chin no also be bribing a police officers 3, almost 100 or 200,000 Ghana cedis, which is equivalent to $20,000 or manje. So the question about how Ghana is now a traffic zone, are you used to cocaine? Yeah, they have transporting cocaine, the Mahama administration is stepping up its game. But before then, you video about back.
You pass through the right immigration process to bring her in.
Yes.
Are you sure? So which documents can you show that she's having the right and everything to enter Ghana?
You have the right.
And you yourself, do you have the right document?
Documents.
Documents that show that she should come to Ghana.
Oh, I don't know how to pay off.
Okay, open the document please. Hello, your name? What is your name? From where?
Your name is Station. Go one side.
Do you pass through the right immigration process to bring her in?
Yes.
Are you sure? So which documents can...
So that was the victim and he bisan is saying fan ofi and or boy a state be or forcing biom state or whatever. What him said lady Nankasan onim the air course. There's a young 15 or 16-year-old girl. According to video you know, you see with this 16 years, she's supposed to be in school. But clearly you didn't shower. Na okono ne mbema kwada no ye sales be 200 300 cedis 80% of the money goes to the madam. Juma Nigeria for binum editi chrome has say ADN no. And now the people are fed up. Now, we told you the last time said Nigeria need be edi cocaine about chrome has say, okay? Na sa Nigeria ni na odi cocaine about chrome has say no. Yet no ewo the voter border that's Sugakope border ho which the border we share with Togo near the other no. Yet no so Yanka, let my brother make you talk about it now. This no be issue where go police. I say you be police officer, but no, make you not make the case big. I will give you $20,000 right now. And I gonna police service. Me say onje. And also okay, first I count $10,000, no so no count $20,000, and also onje. And also apis can be no so onje. Ultimately, near channel. Yeah, yes, I story no edit into quite a previous video. Abe who na just no on the car or you see a jeep. Now, and then we can say there's pressure on the John Dramani Mahama administration because with the issue of how within just few weeks, Ghana's border transporting cocaine, heroin, and other narcotic drugs. No, Amameno Kase Munthaka, who happened to be the interior minister or Patches Siciano, Ghana, any NDC buying, they are come to establish a narcotics court. So narcotics courts, no, it is going to fast track prosecution of drug related cases. Yenshi video we need in summer minister no attitude.
Required to deliver results nationwide. Recent enforcement outcomes shows that government support is still required to deliver results nationwide. Recent enforcement outcomes shows that government support for the Narcotics Control Commission is producing results under the steady leadership of the Director General, General Maxwell Ogobe Mante, and his management team. And I think we need to give them a wonderful work that they are doing. Between 2024 and 2025, arrests increased from 56 to 158 cases, representing a 182% rise, with enforcement outcomes strengthening consistently throughout 2025. During the same period, officers seized 840 kilograms of cannabis and 341 kilograms of cocaine, confirming Ghana's active role in detecting and disrupting international drug trafficking. At the same time, the drug market is evolving, with tramadol accounting for 23% of the seized MPS powers, while the remaining 77% reflect a growing range of other psychotropic substances. It is also against this background that the Narcotics Control Commission intensifies target narcotic enforcement patrols during the festive season, from December 2025 through to January 2026, focusing on identified hotspots across the capital and other strategic locations. These special operations disrupted distribution networks at a critical period, enforced deterrence, and contributed directly to the positive enforcement outcomes during the being recorded at the start of 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, government recognizes the effective drug control does not end with arrest and seizure. Sustainable impact requires credible prosecution and timely justice. This is why we continue to support the effort to strengthen Narcotics Control Commission's prosecutorial mandate, deepen collaboration with the Attorney General's Department, and advance discussions towards the establishment of a specialized narcotics court to fast-track drug-related cases and enhance deterrence. The operational vehicles being handed over are not symbolic. They are a strategic resource aimed at enhancing rapid response, surveillance, interdiction, and nationwide outreach. These vehicles are public assets. I therefore urge management and officers to ensure they are responsibly used, proper maintenance, and strict deployment for official duties, guided at all times by professionalism and accountability. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I wish to commend the Director General of the Narcotics Control Commission and his
Okay. In the same way, and a minister, a honorable minister, or the better judge, say you need the indemnity will definitely follow up and give you more update. Now, in United for only the the new patriotic party. In fact, just a few days ago, Saturday, and it is MP before Omuko Yi. Omufranka Tuni, the flag bearer and Baumia won decisively. Honestly, most of us are Nimisa and miracle beat Messi. I'm honorable Kennedy Japan or whoever the NDC would them fit Biano and Kobit me, Sani Panabit me, I emerge as the winner. Kamia said those dreams, those aspirations, and back. Into my questions, Abba said, okay, Sisi NDC for MP before you or Mudie, Sisiano. Pamnotra no Team Ken, Team 1 a Twitter Baumia and then 2028. So the question is, who is actually going to lead the NDC? Because NDC for NU and no any information about Sisiano. There's infighting in the party. So you see a link here. We are hearing some person contest. Or no cry. I say thank you to our corner campaign. How you introduce the Casa Yemuno person call because now no copy TV3. He didn't rule that out. Uyu onusufiwa one person so as say ya tapping so abeko ato forcing. And now uyu or ato forcing sufiwa one person amino say so ya tapping so abeko na opoku ajiba. So the question is, who amongst all of these people and the NDC flag bearer and no and a fifi kweti who happen to be the NDC's general secretary or the ababe to just say or matiti who bebre, but then to see an party na kwatna say and make a solid decision. If you want to contest as the party's flag bearer and I hit any position, okay. Time on the babe to also on babe a party primaries, flag bearer race near their day, any position. So you have to put your position down, which means a certain kitia, if or no any party, your friend is a chairman, Sisiano, or person contesting as a flag bearer, he has to resign. The same thing for Harry Drusu and other people. I don't know how effective this will be, but then according to a year more insiders, so it won't bring conflict of interest because some people will be chasing their own political ambition instead of doing what is right to make sure at the end of the day the NDC will have a clean sheet, can hold on to the record because at the end of the day more elections, the and yes, the good things you guys did, that is exactly what you guys are going to sell to Ghanaians. Now, go see how Fifi Kwete says, in as much as this decision be for Rebecca say hash, the party believes that this is a step in the right direction. Send at the end of the day, position our panel, it is not going to conflict with the agenda of the National Democratic Congress and also the Mahama administration.
Before filing nomination forms. 2. Chairpersons or members of boards or persons in analogous positions are exempt from this restriction. Why? Because they are not full-time employees. So those who are full-time employees are affected. And the following are those who are affected. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A. Ministers and deputy ministers. B. Chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies or analogous officers. C. Metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. So those are the 3 main categories. Now, the official guidelines for the elections will from today be made public. So all of you will be able to have access to it. Intending to contest at the constituency level, who fall in the category I just mentioned, the 3 categories I mentioned, those intending to contest at the constituency level shall resign by April 2026. Those intending to contest at the regional level shall resign by May 2026. And those intending to contest at the national level shall resign by June 2026. These provisions are firm, constitutional, and we enforce without exception. This reorganization process, ladies and gentlemen, demands discipline, integrity, fairness, and collective responsibility. I therefore call on all party officials from the branch to the national level to apply themselves diligently, act transparently, and uphold the values of the National Democratic Congress. Let us remember that the objective is not merely to elect officers, but to strengthen the party, to deepen internal democracy, to consolidate our unity, and position this party as a formidable political vehicle capable of delivering responsible and people-centered governance and resetting our country. If we get the party right, we get the government right. If we weaken the party, we automatically weaken the government. So the choice before us is clear. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the press, in conclusion, let me say that the NDC approaches this exercise with utmost seriousness and resolve. We are committed to a credible, orderly, and inclusive reorganization that reflects the will of our members.
Okay, so that was a Fifi Kwete in Sema Odibe Tuja. Now, far from that, to Fifi Kwete also went on to say, he understands, sir, decision where a party no media abano, and go for Rebecca, so it is not a good it is not a good decision. But according to him, they are doing this for a reason. Now, also edit to just say, all these things are air cost, the government is also looking at the level of greed air cost MPP mu party say. At the end of the day, nipa bako or a minister or some person or a flag bearer. Meanwhile, there are millions of people within the party. Send a at the end of the day, enquire say nipa bako enkwana efun positions ni nyina who position now person pray for fra. The okutem sisiano just resign or leave it there. Exactly, that is exactly what a year Fifi Kwete etuja. Inti some of some katwa so yeba.
Yeah, so NDC has so many people. Our numbers are massive, millions of supporters. We have so many people capable of holding positions. It cannot be the situation where only one or two individuals are capable of holding both an appointed position in government and also position at the level of the party. It just cannot be. So, God forbid. If any of us drop dead today, NDC has got so many more people who can hold our position and do an excellent job, if not even better job. So we must have the same principle at all. I think it's simply an issue of reducing the level of greed. You understand? You're long, one man with chop. What's the problem? What's the problem? And so if you want to work for the party, you leave your position in government. Just come and contest and win. Then we know you are fully dedicated. But this situation where you are trying to be one leg here, one leg, even you notice, even constitutional review is even bringing the provision that even if you are a member of parliament, it's no more going to be permitted once it's approved for you to be both in parliament and in government at the same time. Why? You alone, why? So it's the same kind of principle. You want to work for the party, resign from whatever position you are, 6 months to town, and come and dedicate yourself and work for the party. And work for the party is a great word. Some of us, that's all we're doing. We are not in government. We are not already in that position, fully dedicated to the party because that's a great job to be done. So if you feel that's a great job, join us and let's do that fully in order to help the country.
So that is exactly what Fifi Kwete is saying. Say, Omatiti Sembebre, Sisiano, party members, Omodoso. You are not the only person within the NDC, so they wouldn't allow you to come. Say you now I the open any other day. If you want to join the party, another person who position, be now person offer another position. All that they are saying is simple. Please leave your position there. When you leave your position there, you can obit mark or pre-position for. Send a bear and yes, nipa bako. Uyewe. That is exactly what is really going on. So once again, we are live. We'll be very much happy if you can bring in your comments in the comment section. Now, what you think about all of these updates are airbag. And then you're quite an update. You're quite update. On this particular update on this particular platform. But more share, share from the title now also who say BBL course ni say that's sorry ya check Nigeria ni bia all traffic in bar abakrum ha say na omo de omo ba de na omo be de na e de omo be ya asawo so ye adwuma at the end of the day na sika no akọ madam ho eno na Ghana fo bi afa esi omo ho say you are not going to actually allow this any longer into a match. Yes, a woman we involve a woman or match no the Nako police station. Very soon, no, you best share that particular video because and for reference, more joining your moon in the air course. So that is exactly what is really going on at because once again, you can bring in your comments in the comment section. We'll gladly read it for you. And at the end of the day, will be so at the end of the day, you can also drop that in the comment section. I think so. I'll be reading some few comments here. Yes, Saka, if na ya twaso. Into your to the comment section na ya taking from the top. We feel a year giddy giddy. Or say, why Nigerians? You don't fear God. Every evil act gotta be from Nigeria. Globally is the same story. You know, according to giddy giddy though, Nigeria for issue in fact. Oh, UK a baby born here Nigeria. Oh, US a baby born here Nigeria. Oh, Canada baby born here Nigeria. Oh, China baby born here in Nigeria. Nanu ya Japan for mumpo yi baby born here na CNCC wo na Nigeria for. Aden Nigeria for why? So that is what giddy giddy aircam. We are for Cristiano Owusu Bisa said this is a good idea. To Cristiano Owusu and also China Jane said whatever initiative the John Dramani Mahama administration is taking to combat these kind of people. More fun for abakronimu illegal no at the end of the day is good. And also I believe that she was also seconding on the fact that yeah party said woman on the screens more person more contest in various positions no it is clear you have to leave your position. Because said the NDC party and what do you think about all of these issues? You know, these are the issues air course. So at the end of the day, you know, we'll be very much happy to get your feedback and answer more of what you think on almost all of these things are air course. So once again, you can drop in your comments and then they will be very much happy to read them for you. And send a year in some for so. Recently, we gave you an update about Anthony Joshua's sudden accident that he had in Nigeria. I'm talking about last 2 months. And this particular accident that's a veteran boxer or talented boxer, you know, award-winning heavyweight title boxer, Anthony Joshua. The accident that he had, we all saw that it took the lives of his two friends. These were not just ordinary friends. These were people who were also close to Anthony Joshua, and they were even personal trainers of Anthony Joshua. Now, ultimately, their bodies and also their remains were transported to the United Kingdom for burial. But then after a month or so, Anthony Joshua is out here and he is actually explaining the sequence of things. Now, remember, these are guys that used to roll with him wherever he goes. These are guys who were there with him. And on that particular day, when Anthony Joshua was actually moving towards or was actually heading towards his family house to go and visit his mom, his father, these two guys were also with him in the same car. But ultimately, what happened was that during the voyage or during the whole process, I mean, in the middle of the road, the driver stopped, saying that Anthony Joshua was blocking the side mirror because Anthony Joshua was heavy, he was stout, and then his body had filled almost the entire place. So he was blocking the rear mirror, and the driver was having a hard time seeing the cars and navigating all of that. So Anthony Joshua moved to the back seat where behind the driver, and ultimately immediately the car moved past some few miles. The accident happened, and where Anthony Joshua was sitting, that was the same place that when the accident happened, we realized that it took the life of his friend because he exchanged seats with his friend, and ultimately the friend died on the spot. Now Anthony Joshua is out here, he's speaking. So in this 6 minutes video that we are going to watch, Anthony Joshua, we will hear him crying, wailing, and at a point in time, this is very sad. But then let's hear exactly what Anthony Joshua said. When we come back, we will continue with this particular update.
How's it going, everyone? I trust you're all well. I hope you're all well. So I'm here in front of a camera. Unfortunately, I'm not speaking to all of you people live. If you know my character, I would much prefer to do that, but there's what I want and then there's reality. So this is the best way I could reach out to all of you far and wide, worldwide, who are showing so much love, care, support through that tragic, traumatic time where we lost Lats and Sina in Nigeria. Look, the last time I spoke to you guys was in Miami. You know, we had so many plans to wrap up 2025, and we were on a mission. We were on a mission. We went back home, went to see our families, and everything just got flipped upside on its head. And yeah, it's God's the best planner. We can't plan. We can plan to the best of our capabilities, but you know, that was such an unforeseen circumstance that was out of all of our controls. And not only did I not even want to talk about myself, not only did their parents, their uncles, their cousins, their friends, and myself lose like two great men. We lost people that we dearly care about and that have been like major players in all of our lives, major players in all of our lives. It's tough, it's really tough. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and show all of my emotions. I know in today's day and age, it's easy to microanalyze people and, you know, pass judgment, but, you know, I know what I feel, and that's what that matters to me. I know what my duty is. You know, they're my brothers, they're my friends, first and foremost. Then we became business partners, we became hustlers, we became lieutenants, we became generals, we became everything, we became housemates, we were living together, do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a shame, but so there's that side of things. And then what can I say? One day my time will come, and I'm not scared either, at all. It's actually comforting knowing I've got two brothers on the other side. You know, I've lost people before, but I don't think I've lost people like that, my left and my right, you know. Throughout this like journey that I've been on, you know, it's not easy, but I didn't even realize that I'm the big guy, you know what I mean? But I was walking with giants, man, that kept me protected, kept me shielded. But the mission must go on. I understand my duty. I understand, like, what they wanted to do for their families. So what my goal is to continue to help them achieve their goals. Even though they may not be here in the physical, when I pray at night, when I pray in the morning, I know spiritually they're going to aid me through, because it's not just physical strength that will get me through. It's going to take a lot of strength from the higher power. So I'm going to definitely be saying my prayers, and I'm going to help them fulfill their dreams for their families. Not only me, there's a whole team of us, a whole brotherhood, a whole sisterhood that will be helping fulfill their legacy and fulfill their dreams. But I know in my corner of the world, I know what I'm going to be doing, and I know what we're going to do to continue their, I don't want to say legacy, because I had a lot of those questions during my fight in Miami. How does this affect your legacy? It ain't about legacy, it's just doing what's right. And I know what I'm going to do what's right for them. I know what I got to do. So yeah, I'm going to do what's right by them. I'm going to do what's right by their family. It's about what's important to me, and they're very important players, very important team members, very important friends, and two of my brothers. So yeah, I don't think I mentioned the love and appreciation. It's all acknowledged by me, by them, by their families. 100% we acknowledged the thousands and then maybe going into millions around the world that show so much love to them both. I still can't get my head around, like, just my two friends, yeah, how popular, like, that's mad to me, because we just grew up like together, and then I'm like, wow, how, you know, because I've known them as my friends, but they've built such strong characters over the years, so they must have really spent time working on themselves and bettering themselves and becoming the men they were today. And I'm sure their parents 100% are proud of them, because I am. So yeah, I just want to say thank you. We saw the messages, the tweets, the social media, the YouTubes, the prayers. it's all been acknowledged. So yeah, we know what we're going to do. Mama Lats, Mama Sina, Papa Lats, Papa Sina, one love. You know, out here representing. This message is not only on behalf of me, this is on behalf of their families. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for the love worldwide. Continue, don't let it stop. And for anyone out there that's lost a son, a brother, one love to you, like, yeah. From us to you, we're sending that love straight back. And what more can I say? Thank you.
So that was Anthony Joshua. I mean, for the first time, he's speaking now that these guys that lost their life in the car accident with him, these guys were not just mates. These guys were not just friends. These guys were not just any persons. These guys were brothers. They were family. They were living together. They were business partners. So clearly, he is acknowledging what he's lost, and the fact that these are young guys who had families, who had wives, who had children, who had a whole lot of ambition. They were just in their prime, and they lost all within a twinkle of an eye. Just tells us, or just shows the fragility of life. And what more can he say? He's here. Perhaps he was left, or he was spared from this doom, this accident, for a reason, and then he will just continue to do the good works that his friends were doing. Just of Sinat, his friend Sinat and the other guy, they were constantly doing donations, helping orphanage, building schools. Perhaps he's going to continue in that regard. So that is exactly what is really going on in regards with Anthony Joshua. Actually, for Saturday elections now, a course election, honestly, many people were shocked. But personally, me myself, I was not shocked. If there's anything right now, you'll be one say, how can Japan the political career is almost dead right now. I didn't make us elections are a call, and we saw say Baumia did very well. In fact, Brandy Champon cried a point in time was almost tiring to Canada compare with Japan, which means Musa Dankwa post not the buyer or the buyer no such as say elections we are here corner and yet young second round a one touch. No, that was exactly what happened. Now everyone is actually talking about Kennedy Japan and also the new darling boy Ubia Air Party say why yeah the nipa make an answer me Brian Champon. Now me say prophecy be a course. So before this particular elections, remember King Japan the prophet El Ben whatever patch because of prophecy no the buy and no crap. But far from that to Obia or also Odikai man prophecy say a year King Japan be lusu Baumia ebevini even can acknowledge say we lusu and even cry even before side elections we crowd Odikan ma prophecy be about a helicopter crasher and who same be abako but me no ka say same prophet here the prophet Tuja what the Bible Tuja say right after elections one man will be down by stroke, and from the look of things Kamiako said that person could be or maybe Kennedy a compare with Japan. Now, Senabayan Kwese be a metitin some ashe nanuntino. Yenkoti exactly what Prophet Roger said, because Prophet Roger actually said elections can lose. Can lose. Now can lose yeah. After that, a particular one of the candidates, he will be down by stroke. He will be down by stroke. And a man for business say who? Is it Ken? Because in him say all the candidates nipa or what history of stroke. When you stroke that or koye brain surgery in Japan. Regardless, you could think a prophet Roger edituja.
We must see ya and only yacha prime mission on Mokwakoyam. Come after prime mission now yari a friend stroke. Now obey news all over the country say stroke up to Nipan Mubakoso. I don't know me I am a host and me say election is either you win or lose. Eti sabi so bi ani kunimu a eno nchese na wi yaba. Eti no omo pre nipa 5 na omo agina omo pre no. Sign da ba ko animu pa but yes rade di amasa nipa kro no.
Nkomo ya anyamede.
After any panocra American or issue about diabetes.
Wow.
After prime minister, that is the sad news. But said the TBano, what you could do in Millennium na including the also Konako. Now, leaving him, I do only say, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday. My boy and your mom.
Sir.
Ready. It means me I'm stress. Hey.
I don't want to Juana.
Oh, I'm in Chichim Accra.
Obi ya na de na kwanya.
Oh, Ali. Ghana. Nyame ho ma na mobo. Amanfo chire tumi. Amanfo chire powers. But at the end of the day, the akunyani ene dia no obe ni na kunyana boko. Wow. Obe ni na kunyana poto. Ama bibia wi pe. Oh, I still maintain say Dr. Bumi abe in election.
Wow. Now over figures kakra and now person will be through more light on it.
I mean but you say
what my figures no and you wouldn't want to go there.
Ali obe Dr. Bumi abe in election no. I know the figures be yeah, I won't talk much about the figures, but a total win. Your cash will be a winning, our winning, until a win.
Hey,
a win straight. But Prime Minister, I see Wednesday, no, Prime Minister, no, movie ma, you pay the page and answer. Or more to Prime Minister, we also be a mechanism after election, after radio network. It means I may look I say, maybe check a premise because I see you. But the main share the way forward, MPP or many any after election or the other way any. I don't know the army races here.
Now, what our
premise need Dr. Bumia Bereni.
Now, about to let you know, the casualty be woman, Sani Pano, 2 1 year. About to know, Ebe Trigaman, Yarena Kosua, and I say, or what? And purposely because of the election. Okay.
But the law of the earth. I said the month February I be remuing. If we are seeing we are seeing the shock, a very big shock. Assassinating best artist of Bema and Krum be brave and Ghana. But the being very shock news is from all over the world. Now, where you are there done any, it has nothing to do with the election. Not for a rebel hopa.
Wow.
Mm.
And yet, only in your very Yaman direction.
Rademuano. Also, my catch them say Nipano or issue with diabetes.
Okay.
And the obeti audio we are one gene who say or ye diabetic ma on fa the American in Niagara. Cause I believe you be body we be raining and I be we on Wednesday. And when I draw near my man for the good form near my man for ye. Yeah, for straight so be cool rather anymore. Now been in the sun on got too many passion see Ali or Mutakwa Emfa. I'm for SABC for Moto.
Into that was in Sema a Prophet Roger Ekanye. Now, mind you, one book in Japan, amongst all the candidates, why no history of diabetes? What I say, and why so acquire surgery? Prophet Roger Eddie can emma all of these clues, and from the look of things, he may be talking about Kennedy Akomprekwe Japan. Regardless, Odikan Eka said about me wini, Odikan Kasa immediately after the elections, Papa Bako, Niyari Ebesodimu. So people are saying that it could be Kennedy Akomprekwe Japan. Regardless, or Tres and Paiboni and Amundu or Waitua. So we live to see, we are all monitoring all of these kind of events, and at the end of the day, we believe that the BCBR at least he can do something or save the person involved, especially if it is Kennedy Akomprekwe Japan. On the flip side, no, Captain Ibrahim Traore, there's something which is actually going on in his home country. Now, this man, he's been the leader for Burkina Faso for almost 4 years now. And then when he came to power through a coup d'etat, he promised his fellow countrymen that he was going to put the country on the right track, which is doing, and then he was going to organize an election, a free and fair, and transform the country back from autocratic rule to a democratic rule. We've not seen that. Now, just a few months ago, we got the news. It was even confirmed by the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, that there was an attempt on Ibrahim Traore's life. And ultimately, he succeeded. I mean, this attempt was not successful, but then he was able to succeed this coup d'etat attempt, and even an attempt to kill him was failed. Far from that, we also heard that a person who Captain Ibrahim Traore looked on or took as his mother, mother in politics and mother in this particular new field of leadership, she was shot dead. These are issues which were actually going around, and now it seems like Captain Ibrahim Traore, even around him, around his own circle, there are people who want to eliminate him and take his throne. Now, based on all of these sequence of things and what is really going on, Captain Ibrahim Traore remains focused. You realize that just recently he signed a pact with the Russia military, and now the Burkina Faso is arming or retooling itself with missiles and with also nuclear weapons and certain, weapons that will aid them to defend itself militarily. Now, there's a new update there's a new update on our desk in regards with Captain Ibrahim Traore. Now, according to Al Jazeera, it says Burkina Faso's government dissolves political parties. Now, Burkina Faso's military government have dissolved political parties. You recall that just a year or so ago, this same Captain Ibrahim Traore dissolved the Electoral Commission in Burkina Faso, citing that the Electoral Commission was not consistent, it was not free, it was not fair, it was rigged, and it is an establishment which is perhaps not going in line or in favor for the good of the Burkina Faso. Now we got up today to the news that Burkina Faso's military government have dissolved all political parties. So whether you're opposition party, whether you are the current party, they have dissolved all of this. Now read this to get more clarity and more details into this. It reads, Interior Minister says multiplication of political parties have fueled divisions and weakened social cohesion. So according to the Interior Minister who is appointed by Captain Ibrahim Traore, he's saying that these political parties which are in existence in Burkina Faso, they only create political division, not for social good or social cohesion. Now it reads further, Burkina Faso's military-led government has issued a decree dissolving all political parties that had already been forced to suspend activities after a coup 4 years ago. So remember, there were many political parties in Burkina Faso, but after the coup, they told all of these political parties to suspend their activities. Subsequently, the Electoral Commission itself was dissolved, and now the political parties have been scrapped. They've been banned indefinitely. It goes on to say the West African Nations Council of Ministers passed the decree on Thursday amid the government's ongoing crackdown on dissenting voices as it struggles to contain insurgencies linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. So according to Burkina Faso's current government, they are saying that they are banning all political parties because at the northern part of Burkina Faso, the very issue that took out the previous government that brought this particular coup d'etat and that brought this particular coup d'etat that toppled the previous government, that issue of the growing insurgencies at the northern part of Burkina Faso, the Al-Qaeda, the ISIS, those groups who are killing people, raping people, killing children, that issue is still prevalent. And it seems even though now that Burkina Faso have a military leader, the issues still have not been contained, or perhaps it's getting worse. Now, according to this particular news report is coming from Al Jazeera, there are still people within Burkina Faso who feel Captain Ibrahim Traore is not doing enough. And if he has not been able, or if he's not able to solve this issue of the Al-Qaeda and ISIS at the northern part of Burkina Faso, then it's right that he steps down. And that is why the government is saying that we are banning all political parties, because this messaging fuels people to assassinate, or fuels people and gives them the edge, wanting to assassinate the current leader of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Now, it goes on further to say Burkina Faso's Interior Minister Emile Zebo said the decision was part of a broader effort to rebuild the state after alleged widespread abuses and dysfunction in the country's multi-party system. It further goes on to say here that Zebo said a government review found the multiplication of political parties had fueled divisions and weakened social cohesion. The decree disbands all political parties and political formations, with all their assets now set to be transferred to the state. So now they are saying that all political parties, the monies, the bank accounts, everything that you owed, the government is subsequently taking charge of it, and then they are giving it back or they are putting it back in the in the government's account. Now, before the coup, the country had more than 100 registered political parties, with 15 represented in parliament after the 2020 general election. So they are saying that in Burkina Faso alone, there are over 100 registered political parties, okay? And almost 15 of these political parties were represented after the 2020 general election, shortly after the coup d'etat. So now Captain Ibrahim Traoré is saying that all of these political parties are not helping in any ways or in other ways. Because of that, he's banning them and taking all their money, their assets, and giving it back to the state. Burkina Faso is led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré, who seized power in a coup in September 2022, 8 months after an earlier military coup had overthrown democratically elected President Roch Marc Kabore. Now, it goes on to say here that the country's military leaders have cut ties with former colonial ruler France and turned to Russia for security support. In 2024, as part of its crackdown on dissent, the government ordered internet service providers to suspend access to the websites and digital platforms of the BBC, the Voice of America, and the Human Rights Watch. As it turned away from the West, Burkina Faso joined forces with neighboring Mali and Niger, also ruled by military governments, in forming Alliance of Sahel States (AES) in a bid to strengthen the economic and military cooperation. So now the BBC and also Al Jazeera is saying that Captain Ibrahim Traoré have actually gone on far to actually cripple the country in one way or the other. Now, the reason why they are saying this is because after Captain Ibrahim Traoré, got into power through a military coup d'etat, what he did was actually suspending services. So if you're in the country, you want to read what is going on BBC, CNN, you can't get it, because according to Captain Ibrahim Traoré, these are media organizations which the foreign or their former colonial masters like Britain, France, the US, they use as a weapon, or they basically weaponization to infiltrate the brains and people in Burkina Faso, thereby fueling constant assassination attempts of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, and also constant military or coup attempt to overthrow this particular successive government. So that's exactly what is really going on. And according to Captain Ibrahim Traoré, this issue or these things which are going on does not really augur well, and because of that, they believe it's fair enough to ban all political parties in their country. And that's exactly what is really going on. So that's exactly what is really going on in terms of Captain Ibrahim Traoré. What do you think about it? Do you think this is a step in the right direction, or perhaps you think that by now Captain Ibrahim Traoré should have handed the country back, or perhaps turned the country back to a civilian rule, a democratically elected rule? That is what's supposed to happen. But unfortunately, your man says he still wants to stay in power. And then despite all attempts, he's rather cracking down on people who seem to oppose his agenda. So that's exactly what is really going on. What do you think about almost all of these issues that we have laid upon right here on this particular platform? We'll be very much happy to get your view on all of this particular issue that we are currently talking about here, right here in this particular country, Ghana. So that's exactly what is really going on. What do you think? What do you think about this particular issue? Maenya Wadrin share about this particular issue at Air Koso. It's for a bobo she. That is your core and some for us because in some bibri course we need to talk about it and not any babe can right here on this particular platform. Kamia Koye say the United States government, okay. Kamia Koye say the United States government they are working with Ghana's military. Yes. That's sorry, the United States Army and also Ghana military, Kamia Koye say they are doing a joint service. In fact, to the extent say they've even gone on rampage to even award some of our people. Now, there's a video I'll share. This particular video, and then you see Ghana's military cooperating or working hand in hand with the U.S. government. We don't know why the U.S. government is now working hand in hand and even training our military personnel. Is it because of Burkina Faso? What is really going on? Now, before I share that particular video, for us to get more clarity as to what is really going on and even why the military, the U.S. military, all of a sudden is interested in Ghana and wanting to train Ghana's military. Now, let's put this on the screen for you to know exactly what is really going on. It says here, medical professionals from the Ghana Armed Forces represented at the Ghana U.S. Army Best Medic competition in Italy from January 13 to 15, 2026, where they competed alongside teams from the US, Italy, Liberia, under demanding combat-like conditions for the second year running. Ghana fielded a joint team from the Army, Navy, and Air Force, highlighting strong teamwork and a long-standing partnership with the United States in medical readiness. The team performed impressively with Sergeant Cornelius Adagbe and leading seaman Atu Amoni Roxon securing third place overall, a clear sign of skill, discipline, and dedication of Ghana's military and also medical personnel. So here they are telling us that the US, together with Ghana, have been conducting military drills. Military drills, near part said both countries will bring their militaries together to perform exercises. And they will know the strategy, the techniques, and also develop new techniques to actually face these kind of attacks head on. Until now, Ghana, together with US, they went to do this particular military drill, but they did it in a form of competition because other countries like Liberia and even Italy, they were part. Into the Omunina echo Italy and a Ghana army, Liberia army, Italian army, and the US army. Omunina compete here. They also learned a lot of things. Now we don't know why this military exercise continue to persist, but then we have a video. In this particular video, you will see Ghana's army actually doing well or performing these kind of drills, these kind of exercises with the Ghana army. And this update, it is coming from the US embassy here in Ghana. So there are big questions, but before I bet to ask, this particular video involved of how this competition or so-called military drill, how it was done, and the big question is why is this thing being done right now? Perhaps there's more technicalities or more intelligence-based analogy. But before the video, we embrace here.
I am Captain Emmanuel Oti Boateng with the Ghana Armed Forces Medical Services. A little bit of knowledge when it comes to the tactical combat casualty care. Then all medics will also be trained in the combat medic course. So for Ghana, we are instituting the TC3 into our medical training. Medics, we don't normally get the opportunity to be handling weapons, but with this exposure, we try and talk to a higher command. Currently stationed at the Ghana Military Academy as an instructor. The best opportunities, or maybe we will also be included when it comes to range work within. In as much as we are medics, we are also soldiers, so we need to also be tested on that too. It's been a privilege working with the US Medical Service, specifically the Southern European Taskforce Africa, and for giving us this opportunity to partner and learn from them and even from our counterparts from different African countries and even Europe. CTAF, thumbs up.
So this was the military drill and military exercise course. I'll not get into the specifics of it. And send a Ghana army ever letter. Abre me say member answer some few questions. Regardless, okudu to blackwa on also all the same be ababe tuja or parties sisiano Ghana sisiano ye position as a military hub, as a military powerhouse here in Africa, here in West Africa, because sisiano nyama e koso Obeta sorry bibi kwaso Burkina Faso bibi kwaso Benin. According to him, no way a threat, national security threats against Ghana. And at the end of the day, too, it puts Ghana at risk. And you know, the Mahama administration and also this particular government is doing everything possible. It's doing everything possible. So at the end of the day, you know, these issues of a year in summer air so any a year how you better sorry not a bombing niema kudita they don't know. How can we as a country prepare ourselves for the D-Day? And you know, could to black air patches issues for her. They are actually working, they are actually putting things in place, and at the end of the day, you know, regional terrorism air course, no, they will be able to solve all of these issues. And as a Ghana, we routinely a military, you know, so at the end of the day, we say air course, we can actually face this issue head on. And yes, even with that, we are working with the United States government. When we come back, we will definitely dive into more of this update air course in regards with issues where
extremism in the Sahel, piracy in the Gulf of Guinea, trafficking across porous borders, and the silent erosion of resilience in our communities are threats that transcend national borders. They remind us that no state can stand alone. Our strength lies in unity, in pooling our wisdom, and in the courage to act together. It is totally unacceptable that we do not have an agreed regional vehicle to address this trans-border challenge. And that is why we have convened this meeting as leaders determined to find a lasting solution to this threat. We meet at a time when the sub-region faces deep structural pressures: violent extremism, terrorism, instability, climate stress, food insecurity, and youth unemployment converge, creating vulnerabilities that extremists and criminal groups exploit. Intelligence, therefore, cannot be confined to kinetic threats alone. It must encompass the broader picture: the economic corridors that sustain trade, the border communities whose livelihoods depend on cross-border movement, and the social fabric that binds our societies.
I am Captain Emmanuel Uti Boateng with the Ghana Armed Forces Medical Services. A little bit of knowledge when it comes to the tactical combat casualty care. Then all medics will also be trained in the combat medic course. So for Ghana, we are instituting the TC3 into our medical training. Medics, we don't normally get the opportunity to be handling weapons, but with this exposure, we try and talk to a higher command. Currently stationed at the Ghana Military Academy as an instructor. The best opportunities, or maybe we will also be included when it comes to range work within. In as much as we are medics, we are also soldiers, so we need to also be tested on that too. It's been a privilege working with the US Medical Service, specifically the Southern European Taskforce Africa, and for giving us this opportunity to partner and learn from them and even from our counterparts from different African countries and even Europe.
Okay, so you better ask me a concern for us. So, come here, say now elections here, course, so King Japan every poto about me, essential. It be any big. I mean, no, because see and the new face. I'll be a pointing a Brian Champo because Brian Champo's numbers were really impressive. King Japan's numbers, in fact, last time King Japan had 30-something%. This time around, King Japan came to less than I think say 22 or 23%. Even current poll numbers na Musa Dankwade man is 28%. King Japan failed to make to get that. And he thought he said King Japan the more now looking at age and even say many primaries perhaps King Japan's future is not looking bright in the party. Now we'll be coming to that. Meanwhile, in this same vein, I'm for a party say nipa wama party no ama sisi an udo bi aba yesi empe no Kufuado. Itino ebeyanka sisi an ye ba umiano. If the party really wants to move ahead and do what is right and stop certain things. And now maybe a ACC, Senabeya, Obia Bengus, okay, the MPP is now coming back. It's not coming back with full force. It's going to change. It's going to help Ghanaians. And I was here, you nipana. Or this a problem when you are buy. And yes, any pana here can answer no, according to him, no, Akufuado, and yam na make nipa or this answer we ebe to Jano, attack Kennedy. You out here in summer attack Kennedy or the two Jaya Babaka, Minuka say so no, King Japan camp or my baba hete back say, there is no way I'll met Nasi Ayen Shehain, Ashesi be ye a year Akufuado if you party him, or melusu, but taking Akufuado out like that, and I saying say, what cause it the parties downfall on the they be. It will never happen in the new patriotic party. Before the Inco team summer at Kennedy,
President made some great points to the party during the signing of the peace pact. Why do you call him a liability?
Yeah, but his conduct is inconsistent with the points he made. He was the person who divided the party and tied his hands behind his back and foisted Dr. Bawumia on the party. At that time, he could have preached unity. He didn't. He was the person who refused to sack Ken Oforiatta, who is now an albatross around the neck of the party. He was the one who told voters in Ashanti region they could promote their own and they could do whatever they want with it. How much time do you have? Nanado is a liability to the party. And the earlier he takes a back seat, the better. And as long as we don't know that, we'll suffer. In the U.S., after Hubert Hoover lost to FDR in 1932, he was never on a Republican platform for decades. Jimmy Carter lost the Democratic presidential thing in 1980. They didn't invite him to a conference either for Clinton or for Obama or for anybody because he was an electoral liability. Nanado is a liability. It's a very big liability. And the earlier he takes a backseat, the better. And not only that, his words are inconsistent with his action. He has divided the party more than any leader in our recent history. So he cannot preach unity and be taken seriously.
It's way any summer at Kennedy attitude. Now the camp of Kennedy Japan actually refutes this allegation. They are saying say if anything now, Genfa Asida PC Emma Akufo. Now this is coming at the time Kennedy Japan lose. So you could see say the Akufo factor no, and I say people even within the camp of Kennedy Japan they believe Akufo Ayobia yintimi and turn entry sana at Kennedy Eka. Yinti Sama Owusu Bempa attitude. He was basically sympathizing with how the party has now come a long way, basically to trash and humiliate ex-president Akufo-Addo after all he did for this country.
Say a futua me did two before elections. O ma me koye bonsam adwuma bi. Okoka say Bawumia ni wan ni nsem hunan ya e be difficult deputy director of communication for the party. We have to defend it. The very moment you know you didn't call Pempa Assembly Hall. Obia me ya dancing me ne upabusa director of protocol busa Lord Kominum busa omo around the Kufuado at that time. I was on stage as a communication strategist and as a political analyst. I'm speaking not just because me kasa extempo. I'm speaking as an expert. Obi na no kasa wie ya oka mokwa men kroma a o hyase bi e push kwa na me ka kire director protocol adon. You see, we have a big job on Monday. One just and I'm saying we have a big problem on Monday. Asema papa ya kenu. It will take Alistair Campbell to turn this one. Alistair Campbell. One of the big political strategies for Tony Blair at that time of the Labour Party, the New Labour. He was the spin doctor. He is like George Orwell's Animal Farm. Near I preko kitu me friend Squilla. Squilla crack cannot turn approach speeches into now somebody obekabia. And I'm just giving you an expression. Me have read why. They have no more episode. Nobody can polish an approach speech. Even Alistair Campbell cannot do it. Everybody should go and read about Alistair Campbell, the spin doctor. Everybody knows him. Go and read about him. Nobody can turn Napo speeches to right. Not even Schooler in Georgia West Animal Farm. Udim Schooler. And I'm one of the animals. A brave Farmer Jones, Omukeke Farmer Jones from the animal farm. No? He was the one who would say 4 legs good, 2 legs, but some animals are more equal than others. He was the one who was saying that. And then he was able to convince some of the animals that somebody. Now, the American, you know, say, Maferia man, President Akufo-Addo. How? Oh, Maferia man. A people born this way, they will catch you. Yeah, the way I said tennis ball. Now, do don't go Akufo-Addo. So, say, no, Utia, or Fasi, me, I was one of the youngest people I know me, Wadam. You see, and they is wrong. What cheat, said you were cheers, because of political allegiance. Nanka, assembly, I'll quote Julius Caesar. Ebra conspirators no ko attack Julius Caesar na we de second war na we dia war no na we dia war no odani na ni ohwe o si etu brute okay etu brute you two brutus na ko bia da kasa se mo sabi cabinet wo no nyansani na dwini mu do na listen to your language. And then today I was discussing with you didn't get it. Say Asema Okano, you were right. But Nyanse say me no to you. Na me ka so, yeah, I am in a pomino na ti dem wana Kennedy Japan na me na wo na bia o say ya dutu. Na so, yeah, why nyina Nyanse ni anadwin do ya me ozu bempa. Na how would you take it? How would you take it?
Okay. So this is in Sama Ayeke in Japan, a camp on Mudia Babe to the for the CRC. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Yes, a bit man pick some few comments away if he Christabel also or say this is good idea. And away if you could just last year say, oh true, one man no chop. He was talking about a Fifi Kwete information on the about said Obi Biara, oh yeah, NDC minister, NDC MP. Our person will contest for flag bearer and resign. You have to resign 6 months before you even bring your nomination. And I enter also, if you wealthy Rick Begandi or say deny them opportunity to stay or live in Ghana, many Nigerians will never change from laziness. They want quick money. We ending somehow wealthy on a wealth rise Begandi Eddie Ebaye. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all.